Okay. Berurah Tamar Dastra. We're continuing our share in Dirshu Bahalacha. Today's Dirshu is really Reish Beis Amid Aleph. We're starting on the bottom of Reish Aleph Amid Beis. We're in the middle of Siman Shin Mem Zayin Sif Aleph. That's the only Sif. I think we have to go back in the Mechaber just for context. We're up to Mishnah Berurah Ois Katan Ches, but we got to go back for context to the third line of the Mechaber, the first word on the line, Ve'im. Ve'im pashat yadei lefnim. Somebody was standing outside. He stuck his hand into the Rishos HaYachid. V'chefetz b'yadei, and he was holding something. Ve'hinichai l'soich yad chaverei ha'imid b'fnim. And he puts it into the hand of the person who's standing inside. So he made an akira in the Rishos HaRabim, and now he's making a hanacha into the fellow's hand. Oy shepashat yadei lefnim, where he sticks his empty hand inside. V'natal chefetz mitoich yad chaverei, and he takes a chefetz from his friend's hand, ha'imid b'fnim, who's standing inside. So he makes an akira in the Rishos HaYachid, v'haitzi l'chutz, and he brings it outside, and he makes a hanacha. Shenimtza sheha'imid b'chutz levadoi okar v'hiniach. In both of these cases, the person standing outside made the akira and the hanacha. So hu chayiv, he's over in Issa Daraisa, v'chavera potter aval aser, and the other fellow is over in Issa Darabanan. And we said yesterday that Issa Darabanan is Misayel De'avera, nothing to do with Hilchos Shabbos. Va'afilu im ha'imid b'chutzu eina Yehudi, even if the person who's doing this transfer, the person standing outside, he's the one putting in the chayfetz, so taking out the chayfetz. Even if he's a non-Jew, aser, the person inside is still over on a Darabanan. Because we look at it as if he gave it to the non-Jew who's standing outside. He put it into his hand in order so that he should take it out. So now the Eina Yehudi, I'm giving him malacha to do. He's doing the malacha for me. You're allowing him to take it. You're right. I didn't give it to him. But you're being Messiah him somehow. And it's miyuchis to you.
So what is he doing Messiah? He's not over in anything. What is he over? He's
doing malacha. He's doing malacha. Somehow they're looking at it that he's doing malacha shtickle at your behest.
He's not doing it for the Jew. He's doing it for himself.
I know, but the Mechaber's words are is kenois na'amanas lahaitzi.
Right.
There's no Mishnah Berurah on it, so there's no. To look at the Ran over there. Okay, but now let's. V'hu adin lahaitzi yadei lechutz. Now the same story would be true if somebody is standing inside. So now we're going to deal with the person who's in the Rishos HaYachid. We're on the bottom line of Reish Aleph Amid Beis. V'hu adin lahaitzi yadei lechutz. If somebody is standing inside in the Rishos HaYachid, v'hinichai b'yad chaverei ha'imid b'chutz, he stretches his hand out to the Rishos HaRabim, and you got to see this Mishnah. You got to pay attention to this case. He's putting his hand out to the Rishos HaRabim, v'hinichai b'yad chaverei ha'imid b'chutz, and he puts the chayfetz into the hand of the person standing outside, or he takes the chayfetz from the person standing outside, v'hichtis b'fnim, and he brings it in, sheha'imid b'fnim chayiv. The person from the Rishos HaYachid is over in Issa Daraisa, shehu akar v'hiniach, because he made an akira and a hanacha. V'ha'imid b'chutz pater aval aser, and now the person standing outside is pater aval aser. Now, look what the Mishnah Berurah says in Ois Katan Ches. V'hinichai b'yad chaverei, right? So I took a chayfetz from the Rishos HaYachid, I made an akira in the Rishos HaYachid, I stretched my hand out to Rishos HaRabim, and I put the chayfetz into the hand of the person in the Rishos HaRabim, so I made a hanacha in Rishos HaRabim, so I'm chayiv. Zok the Chavetz Chaim, ve'im yad chavera l'mayla me'asara. But if you put it into the hand of the person standing outside in the Rishos HaRabim, over a height of 10 tefachim off the ground, potter, then you're potter, the makom p'turhu, because you deposited it into a makom p'tur. So suddenly now we're saying that even though we usually have said that the hand goes basar, the rishus that the person is standing in, and we have said all along that a person who's holding something, even if he's holding it above a height of 10 tefachim, let's say the question of being maver daled am is Rishos HaRabim, right? If you are holding a chayfetz in Rishos HaRabim, and you're holding it on your shoulder over 10 tefachim, and you walk arba amas, that's in Issa Daraisa. We don't say that you transported the chayfetz daled amas in a makom p'tur because it was over 10 tefachim, right? even though Rosh Hashanah only goes to a height of 10 tefachim. Why? Because we go basa the guf, and the guf is in the Rosh Hashanah. But over here, where you put the chayfetz into the hand of the person standing in the Rosh Hashanah, over here, if the hand is over 10 tefachim, we say that you deposited it into a makom p'tur. V'yesh chalkin, and there are those Rishonim that argue. So you said, yeah. Why? What's the chilik? Usually we're saying that if a person is standing in the Rosh Hashanah, if he's holding something over 10 tefachim, it doesn't matter. It's in the Rosh Hashanah. We don't say it's in a makom p'tur. Over here we're saying it's in a makom p'tur.
Because it goes after his feet.
Okay.
Over there,
Okay.
and he's in the Rosh Hashanah.
Okay. But now I put it into your hand. You're in the Rosh Hashanah, and your hand was over 10 tefachim.
Yeah.
So why is it a makom p'tur? Why don't you go basar? You're standing in the Rosh Hashanah. Why don't we go basar your feet? And I put it into Rosh Hashanah.
Because
It's so.
if a person carries something above 10 tefachim,
Yeah.
he's carrying a makom too.
No, he's not.
So that's
He's
it.
carrying Rosh Hashanah,
He's carrying Shazar, even though his hand is above.
even though his hand is above.
Okay.
But, so this seems to be a steerer.
So now it's not.
Okay.
It's not. Because why? What's that's the regular situation. The regular situation, if you have an amud, what's the
A
name?
pillar, a post.
A post or whatever it is. Okay, so there's a problem. The post is interfering anyways with the Shusarabit.
Right.
Because people can't walk through it. But if it's a human being, he's not interfering with the Shusarabit.
That's a nice svara.
Okay.
That's a nice svara.
That's what it is.
The answer, I like that svara. I like that svara. What the Rishonim say over here is, this is a major machlokes Rishonim. And it's the machlokes Rishonim is probably encapsulated both in the Rashba himself. Because the Rashba brings down the Shita of his Rebbe, and he's chalik on the Shita of his Rebbe. This Shita that the Mishnah Berurah brings down here, that says that the hand is a makom p'tur if it's over the height of 10 tefachim, is the Rashba who's chalik on his Rebbe. But the rest of the Rishonim say, not the rest, a lot of Rishonim say no. What the machlokes over here seems to be like this. When you're carrying something in the Rosh Hashanah, even if you're carrying it over 10 tvachim, that is learnt out from the Bnei Kahas. The Bnei Kahas carried the Aron, they carried the Shulchan, and they carried in the Rosh Hashanah, and they carried on their shoulders over 10 tvachim. So from there we learn out that when a person carries something over 10 tvachim, that is considered the malacha of haitzah. Even though it's over 10 tvachim, we don't say it's a makom p'tur. We go basar, the person who's carrying it, he's standing in Rosh Hashanah, the chayfetz is considered in Rosh Hashanah. Over here, we're dealing with a different case. Over here, we're not dealing with you carrying something. Not just that. We're dealing with me putting something down. We're not dealing with the status of you and what you're carrying. When you're carrying something, hanachas haguf is hanachas hachefetz. When the chayfetz is bottled to your hand is bottled to the guf. If you're holding something, if you're standing in Rosh Hashanah, so your hanachas haguf is the hanacha of the chayfetz. But when I take something and I put it on you, so now klape me, I put it over 10 tefachim. I wasn't maniach your guf. I didn't put your guf down in the Rosh Hashanah. I took a chayfetz and I put it on your guf. But where did I put it? I put it over 10 tefachim. So I put it in a makom p'tur. But what's so fascinating about this is that klape me, it's a makom p'tur. Klape you, it's Rosh Hashanah. If you would take the chayfetz, if I take the chayfetz and I put it on your hand, so I put it into a makom p'tur. Now, if you take the chayfetz and you throw it into Rosh Hashanah, you're over the Raisa, because you made it akira in Rosh Hashanah and you threw it into Rosh Hashanah. So I'm going to be mekayim the Chazal that says va'alma shelo shama amar lo shamati. I'm going to tell you right now that I do not have this arois. I don't have an arois. I'm not going to claim to. There's a lot of there's a Rashba, there's a Ritva, there's a Tais Erevin, there's a Tais Shabbos. There's a lot going on here, and I am not going to claim to have this 100% arois. I don't. But I'm just telling you what I saw in the Rishonim. We're moving at a fast clip. So this is what I saw in the words of the Rishonim today, that this seems to be what's at play over here. I like your svara. I didn't see that svara. I want to look into that. I like that svara. But this is what I saw in the words of the Rishonim today. This seems to be what's at play. Okay. Now, the Mishnah Berurah goes off on a tangent, which this is the style of the Mishnah Berurah that we're going to see again and again over here in these Simanim. He throws in now some dinim that the Mechaber did not discuss. Second line from the bottom. Hazorik. Somebody who throws something. V'neka chaveroi mimekaimai v'kibloi. So Ruvain is standing in the Rishus Harabim, and he throws a chayfetz. So he made an akira at one point in Rishus Harabim. V'neka chaveroi mimekaimai. And now Shimon goes and runs v'kibloi, and he catches the ball. So Ruvain threw the ball. He threw it more than 4 amas. And now Shimon ran, and Shimon caught the ball. Shnei and Peturin. There, what? We are the second to the bottom line of the Mishnah Berurah on Reish Aleph Amud Beis. So Ruvain threw the ball more than 4 amas. Shimon ran, and Shimon caught it 4 amas away or more in the Rishos Harabim. Shnei and Peturin. Both Ruvain and Shimon are potter aval aser. They were both over Isurei Derabanan. Why was nobody over in Issa Daraisa? Harishain, Ruvain, who threw the ball, is only over a Derabanan. Mishum D'lo Yisavid Hanacha Mikaychai. Because where was the Hanacha? The Hanacha was in Shimon's hands when Shimon caught the ball. But that Hanacha was not made Mikayach Ruvain. Ruvain didn't make that Hanacha. If Ruvain would have thrown the ball from the beginning of Dalet Amos, and nobody would have caught it, and it would have landed in Rishus Harabim 5 amas away, so then Ruvain made an Akira, and Ruvain made a Hanacha. Because both happened to Mikaychai. But that's not what happened. Shimon came and he made an interference, and he went and caught the ball. So now, that's not my Hanacha, that's not Ruvain's Hanacha, that's Shimon's Hanacha. Shahasheni chatafai be'emtza halichasai. Shimon went and grabbed it while it was traveling. Vasheni, and as far as Shimon is concerned, Mishum D'lo Yasa Rak Hanacha. Shimon certainly only made a Hanacha, he didn't make an Akira. So Ruvain made an Akira without an Hanacha, Shimon made a Hanacha without an Akira, therefore they're both over Yisurei D'Rabbanan. V'imrotz hu atzmoi v'kibloi. How about Ruvain threw the ball, and then he ran really fast, 5 amas away, and he caught the ball. So now it sounds like he made an Akira and an Hanacha. Harei zeh safek im Chayiv. Chavetz Chaim says this is a safek. After asa gam hanacha ba'atzmai, even though over here he made a bona fide Akira and a bona fide Hanacha, after it's possible, she'ein ha'anacha gemura, this is not really considered a Hanacha mikaychai, ad she'yanuach b'makay mishahaya lanuach b'shas Akira. The only way you really call it a Hanacha mikaychai, where was his kayach? His kayach was when he threw the ball. Okay, so when Ruvain threw the ball, it was gonna land over there. So if it landed over there, that's Ruvain's Hanacha. But now if Ruvain went ahead and he ran and he caught it, so now the original Hanacha that came from the kayach of him throwing it, that Hanacha never happened. The Hanacha that happened now is not connected with the original Akira. So somehow that's a suffix whether or not that should be chayiv. Could be we look at it, I made an Akira over here and I made a Hanacha over here by catching it. Or it could be we look at it and we say, when I made this Akira, I really made a double whammy. I really made a Maisa Akira with a Hanacha. Now that Hanacha got interrupted and there was a new Hanacha. That Hanacha is not connected to that Akira. And therefore, it wouldn't be a Chiv.
So if A is throwing it, okay,
Ruvain threw it
and B is standing over there,
and catches it where it was going to land.
and he doesn't intercept it or anything, it just stands over there, yeah.
Then Ruvain's chayiv.
Then Reuven is fine.
Then Reuven is chayiv. Yeah.
What?
Then Reuven is chayiv. It's only when Shimon was okar mimakaimai. If Shimon was standing here where the ball was not going to come, and Shimon ran over there and caught it, then Reuven is not chayiv. Then Reuven is not chayiv.
One second.
If I'm the catcher, You're the quarterback, I'm the receiver.
A and B. A is throwing, B is catching.
Right. You're A, I'm B.
Okay.
So if I'm standing right here, you throw the ball, and the ball comes plunk, you're chayiv. But let's say you threw the ball, and the ball's going over there. There's nobody over there to catch it. Now I run and I catch it. Then you're putter.
Yeah.
Because then the hanacha did not happen mikoichai. It wasn't going to land. It wasn't going to land in my hands. I wasn't there.
If you pick up your hands and you go like this.
So, okay, so the question is, what's the line? Where's the line? The Chavetz Chaim's words over here are okar mimkoimai. The nekar chaveroi mimkoimai v'kibloi. That B went from place A to place B to catch it. Now, what if he's standing over here and he doesn't move and he just goes like that and catches it? Sounds like he's chayiv. That sounds like he's chayiv.
Like who?
The guy who threw it. Yeah. Okay. First line of the Mishnah Berurah on Reish Beis Amud Aleph. The end of the line. Hazayrek merishos harabim l'rishos harabim.
I thought always it depends if you are stopping it. If B is stopping it.
Right.
In other words, if it goes and it just falls down the usual way, then it would be A would be higher. But if B causes it to stop it,
Yeah, but that's clear. But that's clearly not the case, because any time B catches it, he is stopping it, unless he put his hand down on the floor, and even then he's stopping it. It would have gone another half an inch, and it didn't because my hand was there. So clearly that's not the case. The question is, where exactly is the line? The line that the Chavetz Chaim says is nekar chaveroi mimkoimai, that he left his place.
what happens if instead of being a person there, you have a little hill, a little mound, or whatever it is?
So it landed.
It's stuck in the, it's supposed to land further, but it got stuck.
No, it was supposed to land exactly where it landed.
What?
It was supposed to land exactly where it landed.
Wasn't that it would land?
But it is there. It is there.
See what this is?
All right. Hazayrek merishos harabim l'rishos harabim. Somebody threw something from the rishos harabim to another rishos harabim, or rishos hayachid be'emtza. However, there was a rishos hayachid in the middle, so he threw it from one street to another street over somebody's backyard. That's the mukaf mechitzas, and we know that rishos hayachid is oilad l'rakia. So when he threw it from one rishos harabim to the other rishos harabim through the rishos hayachid, it went through the rishos hayachid. Oimer rishos hayachid l'rishos hayachid, or from one backyard to another backyard across the street, or rishos harabim be'emtza, and there's a rishos harabim in the middle. Potter. In that case, it's only an issa d'rabanan. You made a hanacha you made an akira in rishos hayachid, and you made a hanacha in rishos hayachid. You went through a rishos harabim, so over there it's potter aval aser. And I have to point out over here that that's only true if when it went through the rishos harabim, it was lower than 10 tfachim. If it was higher than 10 tfachim, then it never went through the rishos harabim. It went through a makom p'tur. So you were standing 2 amas away from your backyard. You were standing in a rishos harabim 2 amas away from your backyard, and you launched it from the rishos harabim over your backyard to the next rishos harabim, and it traveled 2 amas in the next rishos harabim. So between the 2 rishos harabims, you were mavir dalal amas in rishos harabim. That's it. It's a daraisa shaharishuyais b'tzarfais, because the 2 amas in this rishos harabim and the 2 amas in that rishos harabim combine for 4 amas in rishos harabim, and you're chayiv. We're on Reish Beis Amud Aleph. We're in the Mishnah Berurah, about 5 lines down, the middle of the line. Ha-moishit, and this is also a complicated halacha. Ha-moishit me rishos hayachid li rishos hayachid. If somebody stretched out his hand holding a chayfetz, and he passed a chayfetz from one rishos hayachid to another rishos hayachid, derech rishos harabim, through an intervening rishos harabim. So I'm in one house, and my house has a porch, and my porch is a rishos hayachid. Let's say it's dalet al dalet, and it has mechitzas that are 10 tefachim high. The neighboring house also has a porch that's a rishos hayachid. Between my house and the neighboring house, there's a rishos harabim. I take something, and I pass it over from my rishos hayachid over the rishos harabim, and then through the rishos harabim, and into the other rishos hayachid. What's the halacha? So the halacha over here is a little complicated. It depends. Bidyuta echad, if you did this on one side of the street, and if you look in the Dirshu Mishnah Berurah, if you look at footnote 12, there is a picture, very nice picture. Two buildings next door to each other on one side of the Rishus HaRabim. And you see those two porches over there. There's one fellow standing on one porch and one fellow standing on the other porch, and he's handing a beam from one porch to the other porch, and he's going over the Rishus HaRabim. So if it's B'dyuta Echad, if both of these Rishus HaYachids are on one side of the Rishus HaRabim, Ritzaynai Loimar, says the Mishnah Berurah, Sheshtei Rishus HaYachid Oimdim B'tzad Echad La'irich Rishus HaRabim. Both of the Rishus HaYachids are situated on one side of the length of the Rishus HaRabim, or Rishus HaRabim Mafsik Bein Shnei Rishus HaYachid, but there is an intervening Rishus HaYachid between the two houses. Afilu L'mayla Me'asara, even if you do this more than 10 tfachim off the ground level of the Rishus HaRabim, Shehu Makom P'tur, that airspace is a Makom P'tur, Chayev. This is an Isser Daraisa, and we'll explain why in a minute. B'shtei Diyutais, but if you do this from one side of Rishus HaRabim to the other side of Rishus HaRabim, so you have two houses that are situated across the street from each other, and the Rishus HaRabim is intervening between the two of them, they're on opposite sides of the Rishus HaRabim, Potter, then it's Inisid D'Rabbanan. And that's true even if you go through the Rishus HaRabim lower than 10 Tvachim, Ayin Sham B'Gemara Hatam. And the Gemara in Shabbos explains the reason. The reason for this is very esoteric. The reason for this has nothing to do with Makom P'tur and Rishus HaYachid and Rishus HaRabim. The reason for this has to do with the Malachas HaMishkan. The reason for this is because when they put the Krushim on the wagons were situated in the Rishus HaRabim, one in front of the other, one behind the other in a row. And they would take a keresh, they would put it on the first wagon, then they would hand it off from the first wagon to the wagon behind it. Now, the space between the wagons was a Rishus HaRabim. The space over the wagons was a Rishus HaYachid, because the wagons were 10 tfachim high and they were more than daled al daled. So on the wagon is a Rishus HaYachid. Between the wagons is a Rishus HaRabim. Since we learn out all of the Malachas Shabbos from the Malachas HaMishkan, what we see over here is that being Moshet, handing something over from one Rishus HaYachid to another Rishus HaYachid, over an intervening Rishus HaRabim, is a malacha if it's done b'dyuta echad, if it's done in one line along the length of the Rishus HaRabim. But if it's done b'shtei dyutais, if it's done from one side of the Rishus HaRabim to the other side of the Rishus HaRabim, well, then if you're going l'mayla me'asara, for sure it's no problem. You're going through a Makom P'tur. If you did it l'mata me'asara, so over there it's an Issa D'Rabbanan, because you transferred from a Rishus HaYachid to a Rishus HaYachid through a Rishus HaRabim. It seems, even though this also doesn't seem to be a davar pashut, it seems that that's an Issa D'Rabbanan. According to the Chavetz Chaim over here, it's an Issa D'Rabbanan, because the Chavetz Chaim says potter, and potter would seem to mean potter aval aser. However, I will point out that it does seem to be a machlokes rishonim whether or not this is really an Issa D'Rabbanan at all, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. Go ahead, ask.
Do we have any reason for things like that you really accomplished what you wanted? You took it from one to the other just because you didn't do it exactly like that. That's the only difference is managed.
It's technical.
There's no other thing.
It's technical.
Yeah. So
right. It's technical.
I mean, what was the? Do we have any reason?
Yeah, just because it's only because it's learned from the Malachas HaMishkan. That's why.
But is there a reason for that? I mean,
Not that I'm aware.
What?
Not that I'm aware.
Is it an hocus pocus type of thing?
No, it's learned that from Sukkim. It's learned that from Sukkim. The net result is what we call Gzeres HaKosav, not Hocus Pocus. We call it Gzeres HaKosav.
So we have no reason.
No, not that I'm aware of. Pashat Yadai Lifnim. Somebody stretched his hand into the Rishus HaYachid from the Rishus HaRabim. V'natal mayim me'al guma. And he scooped up some water. So in the Rishus HaRabim, there was a little ditch inside the Rishus Harabim, and there was water in it. And now you scooped up water from the little ditch full of water, and you brought the water outside to the Rishus Harabim. Chayiv, that's an Issa Daraisa. Shahamayim kiguf echad hein. Because the question is like this: how do you look at water? If you scoop a cup full of water out of a 5-gallon deep thing of water, was that cup full of water munach in the Rishus HaYachid? Or maybe only the bottom water is munach in the Rishus HaYachid. The water that's on the bottom of the 5-gallon puddle of water is touching the ground. The water that's on top is not touching the ground, it's touching the water. So is that called munach in the Rishus HaYachid? Says the Chavetz Chaim, yes. Sha'amayim kigov echad hein. Because we look at the 5 gallons of water not as separate individual molecules of water. We look at it as guf echad. It's one 5-gallon blob of water. Munachim al aretz. And that whole 5-gallon blob is munach al aretz. Ukishalaykech mehen me'at. And when you take a cupful off it, oiker men akarka. That's called being oiker from the karka. Aval im not al peiros. But if you took an apple, Bob the apple, right? You had the apple floating over there in the 5-gallon pool. Im not al peiros, oy shemen, or you took oil. We know oil floats on top of water. If you took a fruit, or you took oil, me'al gabe amayim, from the top of the water, potter. That's only an Issa D'Rabbanan. Shema shayu munachin al gabe amayim lo yavi anacha. Because the apple floating on the water is not called being munach. And the lashon of Rashi in Masechta Shabbos is that loihi derech hanachasan. An apple floating on the water is not called munach because that's not derech hanachasan. When you put down an apple, that's not how you put it down. A put down apple is put down on a table or put down on the ground, not floating on the water. That's not called munach. Therefore, when you take it off the water, that is not called an akira. I wanted to say, I forgot to say in the beginning of the year that the schus of the Liman HaTorah should be a schus refuah shalema for the Yeshiva Shlita for Shalom Ruvain ben Shimma. You should have refuah shalema b'karif. Okay, so that's not called an akira from something that's munach in the Rishus Harabim. It's so fascinating. The Rashi actually says it's kimunach ba'avir. It's like it's floating in the air. It's not called munach. Okay, whew. The last Mishnah Berurah here is cut and test. Oisha natal. This is the person is standing bifnim. He's standing in the Rishus HaYachid, and he stretched his hand into the Rishus Harabim. He took a chayfetz from his friend's hand in the Rishus HaYachid, and he brought it out. Oh, you're right. He's standing inside, and he stretched his hand outside, and he took the chayfetz from his friend's hand who's standing outside, and he brought it bifnim. So the inside person is over. It is a daraisa. Even if the person is doing this transfer is a non-Jew, there is an Issa D'Rabbanan on the person standing outside, on the Yid standing outside, because, it's interesting. I didn't realize that before. Sheyoimru.
The issue is not on the goy. The issue is on.
No, of course, it's not on the goy.
Right?
It's on the Jew. But what I'm saying over here is the Chavetz Chaim's words. No, his words over here are sheyoimru shehu noisen layamanas lahachnas. What is the proper translation of those words? Sheyoimru. Doesn't sheyoimru mean they will say? That's what it means, right? That's the proper diktuk, right? Yeah. So it sounds from this Chavetz Chaim like the Isser over here is kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a liftei iver, like people are going to say that you're doing an Isser. It looks, because this answers your question. Your question from yesterday's was, what Isser did the Jew do? That the Mechaber said over here, Shehu kinois noi al manas lahitzi. It's like I gave it to him to take it out. What do you mean I gave it to him to take it out? I didn't even give it to him. He took it from my hand. But people are going to think, that's what, I didn't chop that when I prepared this. Here it says, Sheyoimru, they're going to say that that's what happened.
So that means Amira and not.
No, not a mirror. It's like a Yavisam Nikim type Isser. People are going to look at it, they're going to say,
I have an Isser. What's the Isser?
oh, what would the Isser be?
Yeah.
Oh, the Isser would be if I give something to a guy that he should do malacha for me to do Haitzah.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. Yeah. The Isser, the potential Isser would be Amir Lakum. It looks like you're doing Amir Lakum. Okay. Wow. All right, let's get at least a little bit of a start on Shin Mem Ches. We were supposed to finish Shin Mem Ches today. Shin Mem Ches, Din HaMoishit Mirishus L'Rishus, the halachas of somebody who passes a chayfetz from one type of Rishus to another type of Rishus, Ubay Sif Echad. Haya Oimeid B'Rishus HaYachid. Somebody is standing in a Rishus HaYachid. V'hoitzi Yadai Malaya Peiros L'Rishus HaRabim. And he stretches out his hand holding Peiros to the Rishus HaRabim. B'soich Asara, lower than 10 tfachim to the ground. B'shaygeg, if he does it b'shaygeg, mutter lahachzira. He's allowed to bring his hand back in. So let's just visualize the case over here. A guy lives in a house and he has a window that goes out of the house onto a real bona fide Rishus HaRabim. I'm not dealing with a Carmelist now. Dealing with a real bona fide Rishus HaRabim. And the window is less than 10 tfachim off the ground level of Rishus HaRabim. And he picks up a sack of oranges and he puts it out the window into the Rishus HaRabim. So he made an akira in the Rishus HaYachid when he picked up the oranges, and now he pushed it out into the Rishus HaRabim. But he has not made a hanacha in Rishus HaRabim. So far, he's got a D'Rabbanan going here. He did it as a D'Rabbanan. He made an akira in Rishus HaYachid, and he went out to the Rishus HaRabim, but he did not make a hanacha in the Rishus HaRabim. So, if he did this b'shoygeg, he forgot, and he went and he did it. So, mutter lahachzira, he's allowed to bring the oranges back in. The Chachamim are going to allow him to do that. It would only be Nisa D'Rabbanan to do that. The Chachamim allowed you to do it. Since the guy goofed and he was over on a D'Rabbanan b'shaygeg, we're allowing him to bring his hand back in, la'oisai chotzer, only back into his Rishus HaYachid. So if he did it out the window, he could bring it back into his house. If he did it from his backyard out to the Rishus HaRabim, so he could bring it back into his backyard. However, he cannot stretch out his hand. Let's say he's standing in his backyard. And his backyard, if he goes over the fence, he's out in the Rishus HaRabim, right? So he went out to the Rishus HaRabim b'shegeg, he can come back in. How about if what he wants to do is like this? He went from his Rishus HaYachid out to the Rishus HaRabim. Now over here there's a fence, and over here is his neighbor's Rishus HaYachid. So he says, oh, I did it b'shegeg. Now the Chachamim told me I could bring it back from the Rishus HaRabim to my Rishus HaYachid. So Ma'ich Basli, what if I don't bring it to my Rishus HaYachid? What if I give it to my friend's Rishus HaYachid? And my friend will have the oranges. I didn't need the oranges. I was ready to put the oranges out of my house. So I don't need the oranges. So what? I'm going to bring them back in? What am I going to accomplish? I didn't need them. So like this, if I give it to my friend, I'll meet my friend my mincha. Tell him, you should know I left you some delicious oranges in your backyard. Enjoy them for what do you call it? Enjoy them for Shal Shudas. Is he allowed to do that? No. He's not allowed to put it into a different chatzar. Zok the Berurah. B'soich asara, if the guy stuck it out from the Rishus HaYachid to the Rishus HaRabim over a height of 10, hu makom ptur. So then he went to a makom ptur, so he would be allowed to bring it back in. What's the problem? He went from Rishus HaYachid to a makom ptur, so he's allowed to bring it back in. Now, even though it's late, I have to diverge, because the Mishnah Berurah just said over here, very clearly, what does the Mishnah Berurah say? I went from my window in the Rishus HaYachid out to the Rishus HaRabim, l'mayla me'asara, right? No problem. I went from Rishus HaYachid to Makom Ptur. No biggie, right? Says the Shari Tzion, the Bir Halacha, Divur HaMaschil b'soich asara. Ayin Mishnah Berurah, take a look at the Mishnah Berurah, Ma'ashe kasafti l'inyan l'mayla me'asara, what I wrote about if you went over 10 tvachim in the Rishus HaRabim. V'hinei, B'toisves Shabbos Gimel Amid Beis Dibur HaMaschil Kan Kosru Toisves writes Da'afilu l'chadchila mutar l'haitzil l'mayla me'asara. Right? This would be even l'chadchila mutar. Why not? Aval harajba b'chidushav dacha divreim. The Rajba is chaylik on Taisvis, umasik, and he comes out the lechatchila oser, that this is also lechatchila. Why? Dilma osi la'afuke l'mata me'asara. If we're going to allow you to do this, l'mayla me'asara, you might do it l'mata me'asara. So according to the Rajba, this is an Isser Rabbanan. V'chein kosav b'shem Rabbi le'Isser, v'chein kosav ami'iri, v'ayin b'prima godim b'shem etzaded gam kei b'shem Rashi, la'achmir bazeh. So we have Rashi, we have Amiri, we have a Rajba. U'lepela shalei hevi divrei Rajba. And it says the Bir Halach is a pella that they don't bring this Rajba. So here you see that even something like this, suddenly we have a Rajba that there seems to be no logical reason in our minds why this should be Aser. Says the Rajba, it's an Isser Rabbanan. All right, we'll have to continue Shin Mem Ches tomorrow.